if you hear a noise, it's this one. It's this one. So just see how cute he is, and then you'll know why I put up with him. Hello strangers, I'm A.G.Howard, and these are the challenges for the February session of the StrangeAthon. The StrangeAthon is a readathon that I host every season, and there's differences between some of those sessions, but mainly just the types of challenges and their themes. So this session is in February, therefore has February related challenges. It's kind of morbid and sometimes we lean very horror, but you can read whatever you want to with the StrangeAthon. I just like having the power to do some odd and kind of difficult challenges sometimes. The February session will take place from the 24th of February to the 1st of March. So the last week in February, basically. Let's get into the actual challenges. The first challenge is Romance is Dead. Read a book that has no romance or is very minor to the plot. I do read a lot of romances, but I find it really overwhelming how much focus is always placed on romance, no matter what genre of book you're reading. And I do think it's nice sometimes to read a book where romance doesn't exist at all in the book, or it really isn't the focus. So there's might be a little bit of romance happening, but it's not what this book's actually about. The second challenge is History Unheard. Read a book by a Black writer. Obviously February is Black History Month. This is kind of an obvious challenge to have, but it is important to read diversely, and you should read diversely all year round, including books by Black writers, but especially in February, so there's a challenge for it. The third challenge is Another Perspective. Read a book by an author who's a different gender from you. So I thought this would be a fun challenge as a way of diversifying your reading. You might not think a lot about the gender of the authors that you're reading. Obviously some authors you can't find out what their gender is, but you know, just what gender they write under. I know some people are gender fluid, so they feel like their gender changes all the time. So it's just really up to you to how you're feeling about your gender. I know it's a valid challenge, but I feel weird explaining it. It was kind of based on the idea like, read a book by somebody who's the opposite gender of you, but you know, there's more than two genders, or some people don't. I don't know why I'm finding it so hard to explain this, because it's very simple and it should be easy to do. There are non-binary authors out there that you can find. I've left it very vague, so you don't have to come out about your gender if you're not feeling ready. I just thought this would be a good way to diversify your reading while also being inclusive to everyone. The fourth challenge is True Love. Read a book based on friendship. So the idea of this book is just, you know, friendships I think are one of the most powerful forms of love, and they're not bigged up enough, I think. I love books where it's friendship at the centre of everything. Even with romantic relationships, it's important to be friends. But I was mostly thinking of like platonic friendships, and I wish there was more books about platonic friendships and just how important they are, because, you know, all forms of love are important. So I feel like this might be a hard challenge to do, but I'm gonna try. The fifth challenge is Heart to Heart. Read a book with a human heart on the cover. So I was thinking of like an actual heart, not like the cartoony one, but I thought maybe that will be hard to do. I'm going to try and do an actual human heart, but if this gets too hard, there are books out there that just have hearts on them, and I guess they're human hearts because they're like the figurative human hearts. So you can read a book that just has the like cartoony heart on the cover if you want, but I'm going to try for an actual human heart and we'll see what happens, because there are books out there that do have actual hearts on them, like the Madman's Daughter has them. A lot of editions of Frankenstein have them. I'm sure I saw another book recently that had an actual heart on it, but it might be hard, but I think it's technically doable. The 6th challenge is in couples. Read a book that has even pages or even minutes. I do keep a track of my page numbers of all my books since last year, and all the minutes of the audiobooks that I own, so this is really easy for me. You can technically go into Goodreads and find out, or you could just like, if it's a book, well, I want to read this book anyway, what's the numbers? So, okay, this technically has even numbers if you don't count the acknowledgements. So it's what do you count as the end of the book? I mean, I personally include acknowledgements, but I know some people don't. And by some, I mean publishers don't number acknowledgements all the time, and it infuriates me. I thought this was just like a fun one, and I like even numbers. That's the real reason why it's even numbers. Like, there are relationships that are odd numbers, but I personally like even numbers, so that's why it's even numbers. The 7th and final challenge of this session is Booktube Darling. Read a book praised by the online book community. I went for Booktube Darling because that's kind of what I think of all these books that have bigged up on Booktube over the years. But you can take any book that's had a lot of praise or like talked about a lot in any online book community, so whatever one you mostly take part in. I said Booktube, but don't feel like you have to stick to a Booktube one if you don't really watch a lot of Booktube. That being said, if you don't watch a lot of Booktube, you're probably not watching this video. You probably found out the challenges from Twitter. But who knows? Over the years, there's been different books hyped up a lot by Booktube. So they're the ones that stick out the most for me. Like the Archive series by Victoria Schwab, the Villains series by Victoria Schwab as well. Like the Grisha series, and Sarah J Maas also was talked a lot about Booktube, on Booktube, obviously. Like, most of the really big books as well have been Booktube darlings, but then there'll be also like really random books that everyone talked about, but then nobody talks about now anymore. Like Splittered by A.G.Howard, everyone talked about that book for a while in Booktube, and like nobody talks about it now. There'll probably be like random books that were talked about a lot and then nobody talks about them anymore. So it's basically just a book that you remember everyone talking about. It doesn't have to be like a really bestseller or anything, it just has to be a book that everyone seemed to love on whatever online community you belong to in terms of books, and then nobody talks about anymore even. Or they can still love it. It's up to you! A lot of the StrangeAthon challenges are basically up for debate, but there's one that is not. And that is our bonus challenge, is always the F-up. Accidentally read a book that doesn't go with any of the challenges. So this is a bonus challenge to make you feel better if you do mess up a challenge, like, oh, I thought this book had no romance in it, and suddenly it has tons of romance and everyone's lied to you. Or you feel lied to. The F-up is a challenge you can't plan for. It happens or it doesn't. I mean, it can be a book that you've started reading and you never really thought about the fact that you were meant to be in a readathon. Because I've did that. Sometimes it's a library book and it has to go back. So I bad time management by accident. So basically it's just reading a book that doesn't match any of the challenges without much thought behind it. This challenge should not appear on any TBRs. I'm not going to police anyone, but accidentally, it's a challenge to make you feel better if you do mess up. So that is an F-up, our continuous bonus challenge. So that's all the challenges for the StrangeAthon. I have worked out all the dates for this year and I'll probably be announcing them soon. We have a Twitter, and we also have a Discord, so if you feel to join in, if you do a TBR video or just a TBR list on any platform, please tag me or comment them down below. I love to see TBRs. If you have any questions or thoughts about the challenges, I'm open to any form of feedback. I don't know if this was too many hard challenges this time. You tell me, is this too much? So I will see you with us next time, where we will learn that the StrangeAthon is the StrangeAthon we make along the way. Farewell. Don't get lipstick on yourself. Can you see that? My mum thinks it looks like someone's kissed him wearing back lipstick. Oh god. Off you go then. Stop being a pest. Stop making noise.